Garu and Anil Survarp Garu, esteemed financial professionals committed to serving individuals and business owners across the USA with a diverse array of financial services, including life insurance consultation, tax-free retirement planning, college funding strategies, tax-free legacy planning, buy and sell agreements, etc. While everyone can engage in business endeavors, it's crucial not to overlook critical aspects such as safeguarding the longevity of the business in unforeseen circumstances. In light of those concerns, we are fortunate to have Suresh Garu and Anil Garu, seasoned experts with a wealth of knowledge, lot of experience, providing meticulous guidance on protecting the securing the business. Suresh Garu and Anil Garu have been recognized for their outstanding contributions to the industry. In 2023, Suresh Garu achieved the prestigious honor of being named the nation's top producer. His accomplishments include assisting 590 clients with their life insurance needs and tax-free retirement solutions. Additionally, he has successfully secured life insurance coverage valued 430 million for his clients, all while delivering exceptional customer service in day. Now I request Suresh Garu to proceed with the call and delve deeper into the financial services they offer and provide guidance to our esteemed Atmiyalu. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the session. Over to you, Suresh Garu.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Raj Garu. Can you hear me, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Anil Garu, you're there, right? Anil Garu?
Yes, and yeah. Thank you, and yeah.
So thank you so much, Andy. Good morning, everyone. Atmiyalu. I know it's spring break, probably in some of the areas. Despite of that, you joined. Thank you so much. So, yeah, first of all, I want to give a big thanks and round of applause to Atmiyalu and also Atmiya for providing this opportunity for us. So, especially Raj Garu and Hari Garu for hosting this event, and Shashank Garu. So, without further ado, so basically, what we're going to discuss today is what kind of business continuation plans that we can have as an entrepreneur, right? So, Anil Garu, please add if I miss anything in the.
Yes, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Andy.
Thank you.
So we'll go to the next. Can you go to the next slide, Andy? I'm not able to.
Yes,
go.
yes, and I'm going on it.
Yeah. So this is the agenda, Andy, that we're going to discuss today. So how do we do the business the business protection in a 365 degrees view, and also we're going to discuss business continuation plans and how do we safeguard the plans, and we'll have a summary at the end, and then we'll have plenty of time for the question and answers. Yeah, would you please go to the next slide, Andy? Yeah. Can you please go back to the previous one? Sorry.
Yeah, yes,
I forgot to. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
So just a disclaimer, Andy. This is just session for knowledge sharing. Please do your due diligence before considering any options and taking any solutions. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, please go to the next one. Yeah. So when we think about business protection, right? I mean, we all work hard to do our own business, but many hours, sacrifice a lot of family time and everything. So while we are doing so, I mean, we do for a reason, right? To better to do the better things for our family and also our society. So while doing so, we also need to be cognizant of other risks that may come along. So some of the so that's why we need to do all these due diligence from outside. I mean, most of you already know all this. Just to name a few, like we need to have a proper business structure, right? So we need to have the secure our finances, and have a proper CPA, accounting best practices, legal contacts, having a proper like a cybersecurity. These days, cybersecurity issue is a big thing, right? So you need to have a proper insurance over there also. So like this, these are like a 360 degrees, and also, can you please go to the next slide? So when you come to this thing, mainly categorized into two only. One is like on the right hand side, if you see, how do we safeguard the business? So that's where we need to have the proper general liability insurance, proper professional insurance, like EPLI, workers' compensation in place, claim, like a fidelity bond, cyber liability. I mean, all these things, right? And if you come to left-hand side, business continuation plans. So we need to see what happens if when something happens to as a business owner, if I die or if I'm disabled, how do I continue my business, right? So there are many ways to do it. Like one of the ways you can have a fund set aside or assets set aside that you can use while you're doing or something happens, disabled or death, right, or divorce, anything like that. Um, but life insurance also can be used to achieve those things. Like we all know that um, family protection can be achieved by simply buying a term life insurance or cash value policy. But many of us may not know that how we can leverage life insurance to continue the business. So in this, there are mainly few things. And if you look at left-hand side, there is a buy-sell agreement, key person insurance, disability insurance, premium financing, and executive bonus. So we'll focus on these things in today's call. And would you like to add anything, Anil Gar?
Mm, no, Andy, I think I'm fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Good, good. Yeah. So now we're going to talk about what is a buy-sell agreement, right? So um, if you look at in the bottom, these are all triggering events. Let's say we have a couple of owners or two owners in the company, right? So these are the triggering events that can happen. Now, what if the one person is disabled? So how do we continue the business? What if somebody's one owner died? So how do we continue, right? Divorce, bankruptcy, retire. So somebody want to retire. So how do we continue, right? So that is where we can use also use the life insurance as a funding vehicle. Like I mentioned before, we can definitely we can set aside some funds and some assets to use in the event of these triggering points. But you can also use the life insurance. Um, uh, Basically, for these three things, right? Like for example, you can protect the heirs. So let's say if you have two owners, so the one owner died, and their family may not be want to come into the business. They may not like the business, or they may not have the expertise. But the other owner, we don't want to penalize the other owner, right? So in those situations, how we can leverage life insurance as a simple vehicle to protect both the heirs as well as the unwelcome ownership of the transfer of the ownership, and also um, help surviving owner. Yeah, can you please go to the next one? So one of the good thing about this life insurance proceeds, right? We can get the immediate death benefit protection, which means the funds will be available immediately. So it's a liquid asset. So we can, it's very cost effective, very simple, and also the more importantly, the tax free. The money we can get it tax free. So would you please go to the next one? So who can benefit of this one? So we can say the current owners, any future owners, and their heirs. Yeah. Can you go to the next slide? So as many, we all know that picture tells 100,000 words, right? So let me explain how it works with an example. Let us say there is two owners in a company. So owner A and owner B, right? So they come into an agreement. They write a it's called a cross purchase agreement. They write an agreement, and the owner A buys life insurance on the owner B, and also vice versa. Owner B buys life insurance on owner A. buys the life insurance on the owner A. So that's where the life insurance company comes into picture, right? It's very cheap, right? Like maybe for $1 million or $2 million, maybe it may cost like $100 a month, something like that, depending on the age and gender. So then the event of one person died, what happens is the life insurance proceeds will come to that owner A. So in this particular example, we're thinking like the owner B died, right? So in that case, whatever the life insurance that the owner A bought on the owner B comes to, let me take an example. So let's say the owner A bought a life insurance for $1 million on owner B, and then owner B dies. The death benefit proceeds from owner B comes to owner A. So he can use that money to pay the owner B surviving people and buy his share, so that owner A is the sole owner of the company right now. So that way he can continue to do whatever you want to do. Maybe in the future, maybe you want to get another partner, something like that. But at least, so in this case, the beneficiaries are the heirs of the owner B, because they're getting that $1 million. The beneficiary is also owner A, because he can buy the share of the owner B by paying the death benefit proceeds that he got from owner B. So that's one example where we can do. The next example, so let's say there are multiple owners, right? So then in that case, what we can do is the business itself can buy insurance on all the owners, like owner A, B, C, any number. Let's say there are 5 owners. So they can buy life insurance, the business entity can buy. Then what happens is when one of the business owner dies, that death benefit goes to the company, and then they can buy off the share that the other person owns, right? So one of the important thing here is to recognize the money is very liquidable, so you will get the money immediately. So and also more importantly, tax free. So that's what happens here, right? So if something happens to owner B in this case, so the life insurance pays the death benefit proceeds to business entity, and then business entity in turn pays the heirs of the owner B's and then buy their share back. And now only owner A in this example owns the business. Yeah. Okay. So, and most of us may also be a single owner. And sometimes we think, oh, what happens to me? If something happens to me, how would I protect my business? How do I continue my business, right? So there is this other option where we can identify owner that um, um, that can take over the business. So let's say, for example, there's a consulting company somebody has, and they may have their own friends that may be having the similar consulting company. I mean, they're not the partner right now, but they have their own company. Let us say if something happens to this owner, so that third party company can come into an agreement with this owner, buy that life insurance. And if something happens to that owner, this third party can pay off that heirs and then take over the company. So that way, so it becomes easy for the heirs and also the current owner. So in this, like in the insurance industry, right, life insurance industry, there are 3 key components. So one is the proposed insured, like who's on whom the life insurance is, and the second one is the owner. So owner need not be the policy holder, so it can be anybody. So that is where the beauty of this all these concepts comes into picture. So that's what, like, let's say the owner and the third party comes into a purchase agreement. if something happens to owner A, the life insurance company pays the money to third party, and then they can pay the money to the owner's heirs and take over the business. Yeah, would you like to add anything, Anil?
Yeah, right, Andy. Give me 1 minute and let me go a little bit further, Andy. So there are multiple plans and multiple strategies, and while setting up a buy sell plan, that you have to work with a lawyer or somebody, the legal, that based upon based upon whatever the plans or strategy that you wanted to go, they are going to draft the plans based upon the plan and strategy. Either you can choose either cross purchase or the second one, or the third one. So also there are several tax complications are there. For that, the better thing is to talk to a lawyer and a CPA, and they both can under these the uh, basically lawyer, CPA, and the company, they all can work with you, draft a plan for you how to safeguard and protect your company. And so let me go to the last one. Yeah, here, and some sample, and
Yeah, thank you, Anil. So let us take a hypothetical case study, right? So there is a law firm that is which has a market valuation of $1 million. So let's say that two people owns that law firm. So how do we achieve this? How do we protect our business with the continuation plan? Can you go to the next slide, Andy?
yes.
So what happens is the client, the business owner A, he can buy two policies. One is the term policy, so which he'll pay very less, and also one is the cash value policy, where he can pay more premium with the flexible payment plans, and grow the money tax free and use the money for tax free to pay for the for the unfortunate event. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So let us say the owner A buys this $1 million protection. We divide into two. One is a $500,000 15-year term. See, if you look at here, it's a 50-year-old, but he'll pay only about $78 a month. So which is very affordable to control $500,000 worth of asset. Can you go to the next one? And the other one is a cash value policy. So in this one, the money it's a flexible payment. So in this case, particular example we took is a maximum funding. So where you can pay about $41,000 to control the same $500,000. But unlike the other the term policy ends after 15 years. So there's no more policy. But whereas, here, right? So after 15 years, it's gone. But whereas here, in this cash value, the money is slowly and steadily growing. And by the time, like, for example, 15 years comes, this has already become a $1.1 million death benefit. And he also has a cash value of like $795K. So one of the a couple of benefits here is all this money is it gives a protection from the creditors, and also it gives a protection from any bankruptcies, and the money is growing tax free. And also this money, the funding, it can be flexible also. It's not like you have to pay 41,000. So let's say 1 year we don't have much funding, right? So you can pay. I have clients. They vary funding. Sometimes they pay only $10,000. Sometimes when they have extra money, they put in 50,000. So it all depends on how much money that you can fund. More important, it's flexible, and all the money proceeds that you get is tax free. Would you like to add anything, Anil?
No, I think that you covered, and so yeah, one part is the taking a loan, and taking a loan. So if you have money that you wanted to use for something, so maybe you can take a loan from the cash value. The loan value is come completely. While taking a loan, the cash value will be the same. Suppose in here, um, for the 795K, so maybe that you wanted to take a loan of close to maybe 400K or so. So the 400K you can take a loan, but the 795K the still same. So what they do basically, they are going to keep this money as as a collateral and giving you the loan. So for the for the loan balance, maybe that you are paying between 2 to 3 rate of return, but still the money goes whatever the rate of return that company is projecting projecting based upon the strategies that you chosen.
Yeah, like recently one of my client, right? So he needed some money to he had a money crunch to run the payroll. So he took the money to run the payroll, and so the money, basically the money is available whenever you need it in this case. Yeah, can you please go to the next one? Andy?
Sure, yeah.
So basically the one of the key important things that we need to remember is whatever the premiums that we pay, it's not tax deductible. But whatever the proceeds that we're going to get, everything is tax free. So some people ask like, oh, can I pay the money from the my business account so that I can show the deductions? Yeah, of course you can pay, but the problem is you cannot take the proceeds as a tax free. So it's always better to pay the taxes on the seed and get the benefits, tax-free benefits on the harvest, right? So that's why it's recommended to not to take a deduction on the premium, but take a tax-free money on the proceeds. Yeah, can you go to the next one? So, okay, so now so far we talked about the buy-sell plans. So various buy-sell plans, right? Like how do you continue the business? So in this one, we're going to talk about the key person plans. So let's say in your company, you may have one or two key people without which the business may stall. So what happens if something happens to that key person, right? We don't want to jeopardize our business, right? So in that case, you can get into an agreement with that key person. In this case, it could be employee or owner. So you buy the life insurance on that person. So it can not only be used for the death, but also for the disability. So yeah, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So in this case, what happens is the insured is a key employee of the company, and policy owner is the employer. So if something happens to that employee, the proceeds will go to the employer, so that he has time to or time and money to replace that key employee's roles and responsibilities. So be like hiring a new person that as good as the other key person. Yeah, would you like to add anything?
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what happens. So the company buys the life insurance on the key person, and if something happens to that key person, so not only the company gets the death benefit, but also if the key person is disabled, so we can get a continuous stream of income from the company, so that the company can survive. Yeah, can you please go to the next slide? Yeah, so far we discussed about all the life insurance plans, how we can leverage, right? As a key man, or the disability, and also the buy-sell agreement. So these are the things probably you already know, and you already have all these plans. But just listing all these plans again.
Mm,
Yeah, recently Anil Garu started doing all of these plans. Can you please explain briefly, Andy? Anil Garu?
Yes. Yeah. Well, so there are some of them, and there are close to 10 to 12 plants are there, and with 10 to 12 or more. But based upon the contract or whatever that you are doing with a vendor or a company, they are going to give you the specific details and how much coverage that you need, what kind of the coverage that you need. Based upon that, that you can choose the plans that you have, or that right, that is a general liability, professional liability, and the compensation, crime, fidelity bonds, or cyber. So mostly, so nowadays, this is cyber is the main thing. So there are multiple plans are there, like for first option, maybe second option. So whatever that you wanted to take, that coming from the vendor, you can get a quote from multiple folks and try to see, and also some of the times not to take the plan for just for namesake. Try to see what is the features are there on clerk coverage, what it is going to do. So like for example, so if something is happen to the company data, like some ransomware, or but something has happened. So there are particular plans are there, like you can wait up to 6 hours or 7 hours, so that you can solve the problem. So then if you have a better protection, so those kind of a plans will give you. So maybe you can talk to the lawyer or whatever it is, and then go for the planning or whatever that you wanted to do. So some of them are, I'm sharing in the red, those are the main ones. Generally the companies will take, and yeah, they're also continuation to the sub the safeguard the plans here. And also there is one more thing is hide and non-hide motto. Particularly you or your company people are driving the cars, the company vehicles. There are multiple ways, to say safeguard your own car plan versus the company plan. These are only just for the namesake that I'm putting it here. Okay, and yeah, next we go to the yes, and so there is one more, and maybe Parishkar, that you wanted to give some high level for now.
Yeah. So I mean, there are a couple more things that we want to discuss, but I think we are already running out of time, right? So we'll just give a sneak peek. So like how we finance our house. So we can also finance our life insurance, right? It's called a premium financing. So yeah, can you just go to the next slide, Andy? So basically,
Yeah.
you can fund the policy for uh, yeah previous yeah. So you can just you can put the contributions from your pocket, some of it, and then you can take the loan to pay for the life insurance. And then the previous screen, Andy, please.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is called a premium financing. So which means for the life insurance policy, let's say the premium is 45,000. So you can take the loan, and the bank will give the loan, do the financing for your premium. And then after some time, you pay back the company, and then you essentially are getting a free life insurance. So it's called premium financing. I'm not going in very detail. I'm just giving a quick peek. So maybe in the future, one of these sessions we'll explain in detail. And also, some people use the executive bonus. For that purpose, also people use the life insurance. So yeah, again, we don't want to go in detail in this session. Maybe in the future, because itself will take a lot of time. So yeah, can you please go back to the question and answer? And
Yeah, sure. And let me go back to the question now. Okay.
so Raj garu, we are done with our presentation, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Sure అండి. Yeah, ఇక్కడ we have a question from Lingana గారండి. What would be the interest rate on the loans?
It all depends on it. Depends on it. So right now it's about 5%. And
5%.
yeah,
Okay.
but the good thing about that loan is it's a participating loan. Let us say we accrued. I'll give you an example, a real example, right? Like other day, one of my client, he had a 200,000 cash in the account, so he needed $100,000. So what he did was he kept company gave the loan from their account for 5%, and then now the market has also grown, right? So he got 8% return on the money. So in essence, he paid 5% interest, but he got 8%. So in other words, he made 3% more on the borrowed money.
Oh, nice. And there is one more question. So anyone can take insurance without a relation, or is it there should be a relation?
Oh yeah, that is the beauty of this insurance, and anybody can take. Let's say, for example, I can buy insurance on Anil Garu, so he can be the insured, I can be the owner, and vice versa. He can buy the insurance on me also. Yeah, there no need to have a relation. And
Okay, super. And yeah, there is one more request from Venkataswamy Garandi. So could you please provide some guidelines on taking the will and trust, how much it costs to get this done?
sure, Andy. So for will and trust, we charge $300. So that includes the complete estate planning and the wills for both the spouses, and also trust, family trust, and some healthcare documents like like medical power of attorney, HIP authorization, last living will. So depending on the state, we get anywhere from 14 to 16 documents. It's a
Oh,
$300.
okay, okay. And yeah, there is yeah, the continuity of the question. And basically, he's looking for some guidance in US, how to smoothly transition the business and any assets to his kids in case of something happens to, yeah.
So to transfer to the immediate family, and so there is you can create a succession plan on the company. So in that you can mention like how you want to transfer them, right? But if they're minor, then it's a different story. If the kids are already major, over 18-year-old, you can simply create a succession plan.
Venkat garu, do you have any question, Andy? Are you good with the answers?
Yes, good, and thank you.
Okay. And Lingana garu, do you have any other questions, Andy?
I'm good, sir. Thank you very much.
Cool. Cool. సో యా ఇంకా ఓవర్వ్యూ మీరు కొత్త చెప్పారు కదండి వుడ్ యూ లైక్ టు కంటిన్యూ దట్ అండి బికాస్ వి స్టిల్ హ్యావ్ సమ్ టైమ్ ఆర్ వి కెన్ కాల్ ఇట్
I mean, yeah, Hari garu, you have a question.
Yeah. Sure అండి. I think there are a lot of things you guys talked. నేనేంటంటే ఎనీవే మనం దీన్ని రికార్డ్ షేర్ చేయబోతాం కాబట్టి I want to like ask a few questions.
Yes.
So that ఏంటంటే they can reach out to you offline if needed also. మనకేంటి అని అంటే especially I want to focus a little bit more into folks who are into entrepreneurship side and how they can take advantage of that. Okay. So ఆ రిలేటెడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతాను. ఒకసారి మీరు feel free to go ahead and answer.
Listen.
See, first question ఏంటంటే see individualగా usually I have my own the short term insurances or term insurance or this lifetime long term insurances, and in some cases I do have like some annuity and things like that at a individual level plan, right? But as an entrepreneur, how do I separate my individual from my company? Like, how are you going to design that? Is it through trust? Is it like, do I have to have separate things? Can you help me understand as an entrepreneur, how do I separate these two first?
Yeah, sure. And so is it a sole owner proprietorship or the multi-owner?
I think you should cover both of them, Andy, Suresh Garu.
Okay, sure, Andy. So if we go to, can you please go to the previous slide, Andy?
Yeah, I'm going to that one. Yeah. Okay, this is for the solo, Andy. This is for solo.
Yeah, this is for the solo, Andy. So where it says owner, right? So that is the main owner of the company. Like in your case, you are the. Can I take you as an example?
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's say this owner is you only. So whatever the nature of business that you have, you can identify a third party that may be interested to take over your business if your family is not interested to take over your business. So if your family is interested to take over your business, so you can simply write a succession plan and then they can take over the business. But let us say they're not interested to do the business that you're continue the business that you're doing, right? So you'll identify a third party. So this third party can be any person that that is doing a similar business. Like for example, let's say if you're doing a consulting business, for example, like a staffing business or product development, and this third party, they're not a partner with you, but they're very knowledgeable in the business that you're doing. So they don't mind taking over a business that you have. So in this case, what happens is, so one thing is, whatever the value of this business, if he has the money, he can just simply pay that money and take over. But sometimes they may not have that much money, right? Especially the liquidable asset. So in that case, this guy, what happens is they'll get into a cross purchase agreement with you. No, please stay on that.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Right? And then they buy the life insurance on you. Okay. So if something happens, right, then the money, the insurance proceeds will go to the third party. So obviously the heirs of the owner needs to get benefited, right, from that business. And at the same time, they don't want to continue that business, right? So whatever the money that he gets from the insurance company, he can use that money to pay up the heirs and take over the company. Does make sense? And I know it's a little bit complicated.
yeah, no, totally, Andy. So essentially what you are saying is, see, company is purchasing the life insurance policy on life of an employee or executive from a general sense.
Correct.
And company ends up paying the premium, and company is the beneficiary of the policy.
Correct.
And what you're also saying is if the employee or executive dies, the company receives the policy payout, like a similar to like a death benefit.
Yes,
That's what you are essentially saying.
that's correct. That is very
Obviously, got it, Andy. నేను నెక్స్ట్ దానికి వెళ్తా దీంట్లోనే. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ సెగ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది క్వశ్చన్, విచ్ ఈస్ ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైతే ఇప్పుడు యాజ్ అ కంపెనీ ఓనర్ ఐఎమ్ ఫండింగ్ దిస్, రైట్? I think you touched upon a little bit what kind of tax write-off can I actually do? Especially I'm doing on behalf of a company, not like as an individual, but on behalf of a company.
Okay, so there are two aspects to it, Andy. So if you are paying a premium from your company account, so you can take that money as a tax deductible, right? So, but the problem with that is, let's say you're paying a $1,000 premium, for example. So you can take a tax deductible for the $1,000. But if some unforeseen event happens that the other person dies, right? So if he gets $1 million, so you have to pay taxes on the $1 million. But as opposed, if you cannot take the tax deductible on the $1,000, on $1 million, you don't need to pay any taxes. So it's recommended not to take a tax deduction on the premium that you pay.
Is it completely transparent, Andy? Like, is it taxable or not taxable when we pay $1,000 or when you take complete insurance?
Correct. And transparent in the sense when you file to the IRS, right? You need to file some form called 8503 whenever you have a life insurance like that on the other person. But some people, they just lump it as the insurance expense and they do it, but it's not recommended.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it. And let's say when you file the taxes, right, to the IRS as a business, So you can just lump everything and say, oh, these are the miscellaneous insurance expense. You don't say life insurance word, you just say insurance expense. But if the audit comes, they may ask, hey, can you break down what is this insurance?
So basically, it's not suggestible. So when audit comes, it will be
correct.
Right, and yeah.
Okay. So more especially, you will get a lot of when you get that $1 million, right? That's everything is tax free, right? So you want that to be tax free, not the little amount.
Yeah, makes sense.
నేను కొంచెం దీన్ని బ్రేక్ చేస్తానండి సురేష్ గారు. మేబీ దెన్ యూ కెన్ హెల్ప్
Please.
ఆడియన్స్ టు కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ బెటర్. మనకు maybe like 2 or 3 stages, right? The first one is company purchases this life insurance policy on, employee or executive, right? But when they are paying the premium, these premiums generally are tax deductible as a business expense?
No.
No, these are not?
Correct.
Okay.
It's suggested not to take a tax deduction.
Okay, got it. So are there like any different type of policies that are claimed as business expense tax deductible because you're offering for company? As an example being, if you have 1 employee versus 10 employees, if you're offering for more people versus, everyone.
Yeah.
Is there like any difference?
Yes. Yeah, group life insurance is different. And in the group life insurance, right, where you're offering to all the 10 employees, so that money can be tax deductible to the company.
Correct. Okay, so the answer is if you are doing a group life insurance, then potentially you can claim that as a tax deductible. But if you're doing for an individual, that's like a iffy situation is what you're saying.
Correct. So in the group life insurance case, right, the beneficiary is the heirs of the employee.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But whereas as a owner of the company, when you take in the key employee, you are the beneficiary. Like the owner is the beneficiary, right? So like.
Yeah, here and yeah, this is what it is trying to show there.
Okay, great. And so దాంట్లో second segment వచ్చేసి, see what you are also saying is now similar to individuals, there are also like tax deferred investments, tax exempt investments, and efficient investments, all these, right? ఈ ఏదైతే ఇన్సూరెన్స్ తీసుకొని ఫండింగ్ చేస్తామో, కెన్ యూ ఆల్సో టచ్ అపాన్ లైక్ హౌ అ కంపెనీ కెన్ టేక్ బెనిఫిట్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ schemes that are available? One is, okay, first at the time of funding it, there's a tax benefit. But then during the course of it entire cycle, there is also like investment vehicle that's happening, right? Can you touch that a bit also?
Absolutely, Andy. So in this particular example, right? So we took $500,000 as the initial death benefit, and then we are paying $41,000 per year. So if you look at here, so we're just assuming the growth is only very nominal, like 5% growth, right? So when the money is growing here, like this is the cash value that is available for anything. Like in the example that I gave earlier. So one of my client, he needed $100,000 to run his payroll. He needed money quickly. So instead of him going and borrowing the money elsewhere, he took the money from his own account. And yeah, sorry, Andy, you want to add something, Anil?
No, I'm fine. And
Yeah. So he took the money from his own account to use for that payroll purpose. And also the premiums that we are paying here are the flexible, and it's not like you have to fix the amount. You have to pay 41,000. Like 1 year, 2 years down the road, you may not have all the money, right? Like you can pay zero, as low as zero. And then in the following year, if you have more money, you can put more money, or you can just continue to put the like 41,000. Of course, these numbers will change because you're not putting a lot of money. But the good thing is it's flexible.
Yeah.
And also,
This is good example of like IUL, right? Where,
exactly.
yeah, cool. Okay,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, go ahead. And yeah.
సారీ అండి వన్ పాయింట్ అండి ఇక్కడ మీకండి మనకి క్యాష్ వాల్యూ కావాలంటే మనం బయటికి వెళ్ళి లేకపోతే సంథింగ్ దట్ యూ బారో సమ్వేర్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు పే కదండి 5-7 ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ మనకి దీంట్లో ఆల్రెడీ దర్ ఇస్ ఎ క్యాష్ వాల్యూ కాబట్టి మన క్యాష్ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ తగ్గదండి వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడంటే వైల్ గివింగ్ ద లోన్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ప్రిన్సిపల్ దట్ ఈస్ సేమ్ సో though that you're paying close to 3 or 4 or 5%, the money still go through and still grow on day.
Yeah, no, got it, Andy. Makes sense. So దీంట్లో థర్డ్ సెగ్మెంట్ వచ్చేసి the not like a distribution, but part of the distribution, right? See, individual అయితే ఏం జరిగింది, I take the distribution depending on, whatever this tax deferred or, tax exempt, I'm like claiming it. No, but as part of the company, there are definitely some, not nuance, but there are some options, right? Where you can actually distribute the profits to shareholder instead of like one person. If you have, say, 5 people or 3 people within your company, you can also do that one. And the second one is you can also expand your business and then like utilize this money so that, although they are tax deferred, you're not going to end up paying tax if you are like able to divert that into business operations or expansions, right? Can
Yes,
you guys also touch upon that, like how this can be leveraged at the time of distribution? Your money, you invested, your money has grown, but at the time of distribution, you're still taking tax benefit for expanding business.
Absolutely, Andy. So let's say in this, for example, at the end of the 20th year, if you look at the last column, right, there's $1 million cash. So you needed $500,000 to expand the business, right? To buy a new equipment or what have you, right? So when you take out that $500,000, so what happens is all the money that you take, everything is tax free. You don't need to pay any. It doesn't trigger as a taxes on that money. So that's what, right? In the US, all these wealthy people, they don't show the money in a W-2. So the moment we show the money in W-2, it's become taxable in the IRS point of view. So that's why all these wealthy people, they name it as a loan. So that's why they don't pay taxes on it. So in the similar sense, even here also, so whenever you need whatever money, let's say $500,000 or 600,000, you take the loan from this amount and use for whatever purpose that you need. And more importantly, your growth will still be on the $1 million. So right now, somebody asked the question, what is the interest rate right now, right? Because of the higher interest rates right now, they're charging 5% interest rate. So let us say in this particular example, if you have $1 million, you needed let's say you needed 600,000. So what happens is the company gives the 600,000 loan from their account because they already have our money as a collateral. And then what happens is they charge 5% interest on that 600,000. But let us say this 1 million has grown by 8% or 7%, for example. So which means you will get the 7% or 8% in this case. See, in essence, you borrowed the money, you paid the 5% interest on that money, but you also made 8% on the money. So which means the arbitrage, you made 3% more. Does make sense, Harigar?
Yes, sir. Yeah, totally. See, దాంట్లోనే, can you also touch a little bit on, how this can be offered to retain talented employees and things like that? అంటే చాలా మంది ఏమనుకుంటారంటే ఓన్లీ వాళ్ళ పైన చేయాలనుకుంటారు, బట్ యాక్చువల్లీ దిస్ కెన్ బి ఆఫర్డ్ టు అదర్ పీపుల్ టు రిటైన్ ద టాలెంట్ బికాస్ కంపెనీ is paying on behalf of them.
Absolutely.
Usually this is the expensive thing, right?
Right. And
Absolutely. Yeah, can you go to the technical bonus thing? Andy?
Yeah, here and okay, for key person or
Executive bonus.
executive bonus. Yeah, sure, and okay.
Yeah, this one, Andy. So in this, so let's say this is the key person, right? We want to retain that person. We don't want to lose that person. Then what happens is this employer pays the money as a bonus to that employee. And in this case, the beautiful thing is this bonus becomes tax deductible for this employer. Okay. And this key employee owns the policy now, not the business won't own, the employee owns the policy. So it's okay for the business. The advantage for this business is that they can take all the money as a tax deduction. And this is also good for the employee because he's getting like a kind of free insurance. And whenever something happens to that employee, that their family will get the money, and also you can take the money from that cash value policy, or all those things. And also, so it's more likely this employee will stick to this company because he's getting the free insurance. See, like here, the benefits to the employees, he owns the policy. It's an income tax free death benefit. Income tax liable for additional compensation, either by borrowing or withdrawing the policy values or receiving additional bonus from the employer. Because the money that he gets as a bonus, he need to pay taxes, right? So most employers, what they do is they pay additional money to cover the taxes also, so that it becomes completely free for this employee, right? And you can use that money for the supplemental retirement income, for anything, like, because he owns the employee owns the policy in this case. And the benefits to the and the benefits to the employee, right? The money is tax deductible. It's a business expense, and it's easy to implement. There's no agreements, nothing, and no burdensome of reporting to IRS. No annual administrative cost, anything like that. Like, for example, when you're investing in a stock market or somebody's managing, you have to pay 1%, 1.5%, right? There's nothing, anything like that. And then may freely select the benefits for employees. Let's say if you have 100 employees, you don't need to offer for all 100. You can just offer for 1 or 2, whoever is the key employee. So it benefits both.
One question అండి దీంట్లోనే. So what happens if a employee leaves before the policy kind of, does it lapse or?
No, it doesn't lapse. I'm sorry, it doesn't lapse because the employee owns the policy now, right? So as long as the employee will keep paying the premium, it won't lapse.
Okay, awesome benefit. And yeah. I think we should kind of highlight this to all the existing owners. This is how they can actually retain the talent, but also use it as a business expense to write off some things. One last question, and sorry, దీంట్లో I'm like jumping ahead.
No, please. You're asking a very good question. It's prompting us to give answers we really want to answer. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, Andy. Policy flexibility. See, as an individual side, usually we have, whenever, not like whenever, but majority of the times I can change my policies.
Yeah.
But when you're offering this as a, company of, life insurance, right? What kind of policy flexibility you have, Andy? Is it restrictive? Is it like one-time setup? Is it like once in a year I can change? What happens?
No, you can change it anytime, Andy. So, I mean, you mean in the coverage amount you're saying, or the premium
Three
amount?
things, right? Three things. One is what type of fund I can pick up, what kind of, premium I can pick up, and how frequently can I like change all of this?
Your fund you can change once a year, Andy.
Okay.
The premium, it's flexible. You can pay monthly, you can pay quarterly, you can pay half yearly, you can pay annually also. And then once you set up, you can change them anytime. So it's not like once you set up annually, you have to pay the life of the policy for 1 year. Very next year, you can say, no, from this year, I want to pay monthly. And the following year, you can say, no, I think this year I want to pay quarterly. Because that way you can manage your expenses appropriately. So it's very, very flexible.
Yes, and సారీ అండి, దెర్ ఇస్ వన్ పాయింట్ అండి ఇక్కడ అండి, సారీ అండి, హియర్ అండి మనకి వాళ్ళు ఒకటి ఇస్తారనమాట అండి రేంజ్, దెర్ ఇస్ మ్యాక్స్ మిన్ అండ్ టార్గెట్ అండి. ఆ పర్టికులర్ రేంజ్ లో బేస్డ్ అపాన్ మన ఓన్ ఫైనాన్సెస్ లో ఈ కెన్ పే అండి.
ఫండింగ్ కూడా
సారీ అండి, మై కీ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే ఇండివిజువల్ పాలసీ ఫ్లెక్సిబిలిటీకి ఉన్న కంపెనీ పాలసీ ఫ్లెక్సిబిలిటీకి ఏమి కన్స్ట్రెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి? ఆర్ దేర్ ఎనీథింగ్ దాట్ లైక్ యాజ్ అ బిజినెస్ ఓనర్ ఐ నీడ్ టు బి అవేర్?
So it all depends on what type of policy we took, right? Like the executive bonus plan, because you promise that employee to pay that stipulated amount, right? So you cannot reduce the amount that you want to pay. You're bound to pay the amount that you promised him to pay.
Okay. Yeah, got it. And I know we are a little bit over time. Raju garu, back to you. Sorry, I wanted to just give some.
Yeah, thank you.
Really informative. Whatever the questions you asked, it's challenging for them to answer. And everyone is aware of the things now. That's good question and answers. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, it really prompted us to unveil our insights.
Yeah, sure, Andy. Thanks. Thank you to our esteemed speakers, Suresh Garu and Anil Garu, for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. Your knowledge and dedication have enriched our discussion and provided valuable insights in safeguarding the business and many sectors. We are grateful for your time and commitment to helping our community thrive. A heartfelt thank you to everyone in the audience for joining this call today. Your active participation and thoughtful questions have made this conversation truly engaging and enlightening. Your presence is greatly appreciated, and we hope you found the discussion both informative and inspiring. We would also like to extend our appreciation to Harigaru and Seshangaru for this invaluable support and bringing together speakers, audience members from various sectors. Your dedication to bridging connections and fostering collaboration within our community is commendable, and we are grateful for the important work you do. We request everyone to consider obtaining Atmiya membership. Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you so much. Thank you all once again for your participation and commitment. Thank you so much.
So, Raju,
one
we have
question before we log off, Andy.
Yes, please.
Suresh Garu, Anil Garu, is there a possibility that you guys set up this kind of a sessions for company by company until we have our own entities, right? Do you guys come forward and discuss with our employees and share this kind of information so that they can leverage this kind of a good thing, chala good things, right? Is it possible for you, Anil?
Yeah, we would love to. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. That's all I.
Yeah, Ante, just I wanted to give one quick thing. Suresh Gargani, Anil Gargani, I think, they're one of the few super active, and then they're willing to spare their time, individual level, group level, company level, that I know. I am going to share their details also via email, but I think many of you guys already know them. And feel free, like anytime, to ping them, set up time with them. They are like always available, Andy. Okay.
Anil, the number, and can you also put your number and Anil?
Yeah, sure, Andy. I'm putting my number.
Yeah, please, Andy. I will send out the email because that has a more reach. Today, I know like not many people could join, but I think after we send the email, there should be like more availability. Some people, usually I see like, 300-400 people watch the recorded session. So they'll like get more value add.
Yeah, and also we have a fire session at 1 p.m. Please do join.
And also, I think if you join in the IT Sir kind of meetings, if you give the sessions, I think it will be very helpful for all the employers who are joining that in IT Sir, and you'll get also good business also.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely, Andy. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Andy. Let's call it a day.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks so much.